can't talk to their family. Like they fucking can't, you know, like their family looks at their whole medical chart and treats them a certain way, or like or sometimes the family is so scared of the child dying that they overcompensate and coddle them, and they just want to be normal. They just want to feel okay. And a lot of times these kids, they won't even take their medication because their medication reminds them that they're sick. That was what Kathleen Worrell was struggling with. And, you know, if you look at this, her sister Susan, she saw her as the pretty kind of like, you know, dainty, petite, like, you know, everyone likes her. This is an older picture. You know, she's got the big hair, but, you know, for her, she was just a little more feminine. And Kathleen and her sister were just fighting all the time. Anytime there was, you know, an argument, they were just getting into an all-out brawl. And it all culminated into back to John Owens getting that phone call, that frantic phone call from her, where she says, "Oh my God, I stabbed her." And John is thinking, this is another fight, but it's escalated, you know? And that was not the case. Because what happened on that day was there were a lot of fights that kind of led up to everything. I don't know the accuracy of this, but Kathleen Worrell later told investigators that at one point, her sister Susan said to her, "You know, I could kill you and nobody would care." Did she say that? Who knows? But in the heat of the two sisters fighting, I could probably see that, you know? And I just want to give you guys some context to some of the dialogue and the conversations that were going on between these two. It was a constant war, and Kathleen felt like she would never win. She would never be pretty enough. She would never be anything. And her sister was the competition. She had no friends. She had no outlet. She had no boys that were interested in her. It was just her in the house with her family, being treated differently, and constantly fighting with her sister. And on this day, Kathleen's sister Susan had changed the password on the computer. They had been getting in a lot of fights, and Susan was like, "This is my fucking computer, and you're not gonna use it anymore." And she changed the password. And Kathleen goes to type in this password, and it doesn't work. And she tries it again, and she tries it again. Without any hesitation, she goes and grabs a knife, and her sister's coming out of the bathroom, and she stabs her in the back of the fucking neck, dude. Just stabs her in the back of the neck and starts stabbing her again. And she said, you know, later, she said that Susan went down literally screaming, like, "Kathleen, I love you. I love you. I love you." Like, why? Like, what, you know? And this, like, says so much to me. We heard that, like, in the Tyler Hadley case, the other things. It's like sometimes the people, they don't feel this love. They think that it's not real. And it's like not until the dying moments of the person that they're killing and they're screaming, "I love you, please stop. I love you, please stop." Like, can you imagine feeling unloved and compared to your whole life, but then those are the last words of your sister before you took her life? The Kathleen Worrell case is very interesting to me. That's kind of the overall story, but let's take a look at this, because I also saw another story where there was a sibling killed over a Wi-Fi password. Now, if in this other story we're gonna like take a look at, it's a brother that choked his sister out when she got on the Wi-Fi, or she changed the Wi-Fi password. Now, Kathleen Worrell stabbing her sister to death over the computer password, and this boy choking out his sister over the Wi-Fi password. That's actually not it at all, is it? It's allowing violence in the household. It's teaching children to exert their feelings through violence. It's letting your children be at war with each other. Like that's really what it is until it comes to some culminating event. And so there's so many red flags that pop up before these cases happen. And this is why I talk about this shit, man. Sorry, y'all know I be getting mad sometimes. I say this all the time. Trauma is the biggest unspoken epidemic in the entire fucking world. And none of us talk about it because we're all taught to just minimize it and repress it. And then here we are passing on generational trauma to our children. Here we are, you know, our moms marrying abusers, and then we get abused, and then they go out, and then the abused become the abusers, all this da-da-da-da-da. Trauma is contagious. People love to spread it. Let's take a look at this little article real quick. It would later be revealed that Kathleen, an art student at the Australian Catholic University, had planned the attack in advance, Googling quick methods of killing and buying 3 kitchen knives from Kmart in preparation. In the immediate aftermath of Susan's death, Kathleen told a friend, "I'm glad the bitch is dead." And she also told forensic psychiatrist Olav Nielsen that her sister was callous and thought that she was Little Miss Cute and popular. She claimed that Susan had threatened her life on previous occasions. I saw this part saying, "I could murder you and mom and dad would stick up for me." Dude, initially charged with murder, Kathleen pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of manslaughter. Kathleen had been on strong drugs to control the condition, but had stopped taking her medication in the lead up to Susan's death, hoping to lose weight. She described herself as a 20-year-old girl who looked like a gladiator. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to... Are you guys mad at me at all that I'm kind of I'm mad at Kathleen. I'm mad at the parents for allowing, all this fighting and stuff like that. But, I couldn't cover this without, talking to somebody first that has lived with chronic illness and just hearing them talk about family and needing friends and stuff like that. I just feel like it's really important to talk about. The cessation of medication had resulted in a surge of hormones, and by August 2008, Kathleen had the testosterone of an adult male. While much was made at the time of these testosterone levels contributing to her uncontrollable rage on October 10th, the actual cause of her psychological impairment was found to be an existing mood disorder, which was contributed to by her sudden cessation of a hormone-controlling medication. Oh yeah, if you just stop taking your meds out of nowhere, you don't know what's gonna happen, especially hormones. They found Susan's death horrific, would not have occurred without Kathleen's medical condition and the potential for her psychiatric state to be undermined by her failure to take medication. God, dude, this is just what a mess all around. Okay, wait, let's look at this one other story really quick. How are we killing people over Wi-Fi passwords and computer passwords? How is this happening? I'm oh, it's happening because we're letting children fight in the homes, period. Okay. Georgia teen strangled sister to death over Wi-Fi password, gets life in prison. Alexis Watkins, 20, died after her brother, Kevon Watkins, then 16, held her in a chokehold for 15 minutes. A 16-year-old child. I can't believe I have to say that. I don't have to say that. Okay, guys, a 16-year-old child holding his sister in a chokehold for 15 minutes. 1 in the chat if you think there were some red flags beforehand. 2 in the chat if you think this just came out of nowhere and they had never been in a fight before. This might be gaming, because, we covered that League of Legends murder. A Georgia teen was sentenced to life in prison for murder after strangling his sister in a fight when he changed the Wi-Fi password to knock others off the internet. This is gaming. Kevon Watkins, 16, wanted to block anyone else from logging onto his family's something home so that it wouldn't slow down the service while he played video games. I don't need to go into detail too much about this, but sometimes gaming, it can be tied to your ego, and it can be very good for you or it can be very bad for you. For example, for me, I got into gaming when I was a kid, and then I got into competitive gaming, first-person shooters, when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, and I got good at these games, and it was the first time in my life that I felt confident. And then I also had friends in the gaming sphere because I was good at these games and I was a girl. There was no girls, playing video games at the time. So I'm good at the games. I find my confidence for the first time in my life. I'm good at something, and now I have a network of friends. That is good. Now we have people like this kid that are pretty much probably just bad at the game and then taking it out on everyone else. They're not finding the positivity and the confidence and the community of gaming. It's just tied to their ego of how good they are. And it's stay off the internet. You guys are so... It's not only is this kid sitting here blaming his team, he's blaming his family for slowing down the internet. Come on, dude. Y'all, back in my day, I had to ask my grandpa, I had to beg him for 15 minutes for him to plug in the phone cord, to take it out of the house phone and plug it into the computer so that I could get on Neopets. I was like, Grandpa, just a couple minutes. I need to feed my Neopets. And he would be like, all right, not too long now because somebody might be calling the house. and he can't take 2 seconds. He can't take 2 seconds to share the internet. Go get a job. Go buy yourself some internet for $40, something like that. Now, a lot of y'all are on Twitch, and a lot of y'all play video games, and if you remotely see this